Three, two, one. What's happening, guys? This is Logan Robinson from Here the Spear, presented to you by NoleGameday.com. We're here live with an instant reaction, Austin, of a Florida State football win inside Doak Campbell Stadium. It wasn't pretty. It was ugly. It was nasty. But that's nothing new from this season so far. But definitely some bright things that we haven't been able to talk about a whole ton this season. We'll jump into with this instant reaction. But Florida State beats Cal, gets in the win column for the first time this season, 14-9. Like I said, not pretty. Offense once again struggles. But Florida State's defense steps up, makes plays. The pass rush. Joshua Farmer has a big time game, Pat Payton as well, and some of those defensive backs, some of those younger guys. You saw what we were talking about throughout this whole, last couple of months, some of those guys that were shining in practice. So it was good to see them out there more making plays. But with me this evening is Austin Veazey, our lead basketball writer and our football guy here on Hear the Spear. Veazey, how we doing? Florida State's got to win.
It's a weird mix of emotions, It was ugly as all hell. They went about getting that win in the worst possible way. But a win is a win, as I've said multiple times throughout the years. A win is a win. And that's all that matters. End the week 1-0. We can address the ugly things later.
Yeah. No, I think just going off of a few things that stood out to me at the very beginning of this game, if we're going to talk some positives here, because I think we're going to start that there, because I feel like every episode since after the Georgia Tech game, everything's been so negative. But let's go on some positives here, and then we'll get into a few rants if we need to. But let's talk about that defensive line. There's a reason why I picked Florida State to win this game, was specifically Mendoza and that offensive line do like to take sacks with Cal, and we saw Joshua Farmer. We saw a lot of that interior defensive line. We saw even Marvin Jones Jr. Marvin Jones Jr. is still on this roster, ladies and gentlemen. He was able to garner 2 sacks there to end off.
2 sacks. What about that?
And he caused a fumble as well. And Florida State almost a miracle would have happened if they would have recovered that football. But still, nonetheless, that defensive line was able to get back there and cause some havoc for Mendoza throughout this game, Austin.
Yeah, the entire front seven came to play for the most part. Obviously, the linebackers still had some issues here and there, but I thought for the most part, the front seven played really well. You mentioned Patrick Payton, 3 sacks, 3.5 tackles for loss. Farmer with the sack and 3.5 tackles for loss. Then you had guys like Blake Nicholson, Edwin Joseph, Darrell Jackson, each pitch in with half a tackle for loss. Fuller finally started being a little bit aggressive on 3rd and 4th downs, and it was showing, especially there at the end of the game when, they had to get a stop. He was sending pressure. That last play of the game, they sent either 6 or 7 guys and got home instantly. And that's something we've been wanting to see. We've been wanting to see this defense be aggressive. The safety group was pretty bad, but I thought outside of that, it was a pretty good game for the defense overall.
Yeah, and I think, too, you see some signs of I thought just more energy on that side of the ball, and
For sure.
we were just some people out that were at the game, my family along with Dustin and our crew up there in the press box. You just sensed a little bit more of the urgency there defensively. Was everything pretty on that side of the ball? Absolutely not. Third down conversions from opponents just continue to absolutely rot this team, and also the fan base. It just irritates you and just angers you. You almost just know, as an FSU fan, you know what's coming if it's a 3rd and long. You know what that result is about to be. But when plays need to be made, there were players that, from your veterans, the guys that we talked about this entire offseason, like Joshua Farmer, even Darrell Jackson was back there causing some trouble. This was the Joshua Farmer game, and Pat Payne, too, made some really pivotal plays as well. That shoestring tackle there to not allow Mendoza to go in there and score that touchdown, which would have given Cal the lead. That would have won the game for Cal, just because of what Florida State has offensively, Austin.
Yeah, the offense is brutal, but we can get to that later once we're done talking about this defense. Mm-hmm. Even if Farmer ended up with just 1 sack and 3.5 tackles for loss, he had so many pressures, even on that 3rd down right there at the end of the game where they threw a slot fade, and let's be honest, Kevin Knowles got lucky that there wasn't a flag for defensive holding, but that throw was rushed because Farmer came screaming up the middle, just completely shed the block and was in the quarterback's face in a second. And that's something we really hadn't seen, especially in the first 2 weeks. Last week, we saw a little bit of it. But this week, especially, that defensive line was a wrecking crew. It really was.
And then going to the secondary too, I want to go over to some of these younger guys. We wanted to see more of Edwin Joseph in there, and he
He
made
was
a big
awesome.
time. Yeah, he made a big time play there in the latter half of the game. But then also too, my guy Quindarius Jones, man, that was just kind of his coming out party, and that dude is going to be a future cornerback number one for Florida State during his career. You saw, I think he had three, maybe more than that
There's,
PBUs in this game.
there's three
Four?
PBUs on that
Yeah.
one series alone.
Yep. Yep. And I mean, he just was on lockdown. Yeah. Physical. Yeah. There could have been maybe been a PI, but guess what? It wasn't called. He had a great play. I thought he played. I just, for his size and his length, I mean, he just plays so physical that I like from a cornerback, and I think that's why FSU's putting him out there more. And Coach Sertan loves that. But I thought Quindarius, Edwin Joseph, those two guys made some big time pivotal plays for Florida State, and where they needed to get this win. Yeah, obviously, but maybe just to like show, hey, maybe we do need to free the youngins a little bit more.
Yeah, and if just with the way Quindarius played, if they're still not comfortable with Evan Joseph getting more snaps in the slot as well as he played, why not slide AZ to the slot, run 23 and 16 on the outside, run 8 on in the slot. I think that'd be a really good secondary. Quindarius was great out there. He really was. Granted, that one series was as much of a highlight as you can get for a cornerback without getting interceptions. But I just thought overall he played a really solid game, made plays when they needed to be made, and something this defense has been lacking for the first 3 games.
Yeah, and then they fed off that kind of energy too throughout the game, and we got to give, yes, there was some bad in that defense too as well, but man, Austin, I mean, the offense can't stay on the field. They can't sustain drives. You've got guys like Farmer, you got big men that are having to go. They have maybe like a 90-second break, if that, sometimes with some of these play calling and the offense, which we're going to get to. But you got to think too, there's not a lot of rest for this defense as well. So just for the circumstances that they were in, yes, the third down's got to be better. It's been needing to get better for years now. Let's just be honest with that. But the fact that they were able to make plays when needed and needed the most, that's what you want to see from a team, and that is just only going to carry into some more momentum, hopefully, for that side of the ball, and definitely in the trenches. I think, yes, Cal's offensive line isn't great, and yeah, Mendoza will allow these sacks, but I just hope that can just garner some kind of, even like looking at Marvin Jones Jr., maybe that's something that he needs, and I thought maybe this would be something on the offensive side of the ball with DJ, if he was able to get some clicking and find a few drives and get down there, but that's just not the case, and I don't think it will ever be the case. But
No.
maybe some of these guys needed that, and it's just something to break a little bit there, Austin, for this defense overall.
Yeah, just real quick, going back to your note on the time of possession thing, like for the first half, for the most part, they were getting some good rest, and I thought that first half they played some pretty damn good defense. Then following DJ's interception, they had a 4-minute drive. Then from there, it got brutal. 6 plays, 10 yards, 2 minutes. 5 plays, 19 yards, 56 seconds. 3 plays, 4 yards, a minute 20. 3 plays, 8 yards, 2 minutes. Like, that's how the rest of the game went. And that is brutal for a defense to keep going back on the field time and time again, trying to make these stops. And, for the most part, they held up. I think some of their biggest issues will come with the offense sustaining drives, which is, we talked about it at times last year with even that great offense. They had trouble sustaining drives here and there. This year, they can't do it worth a damn. At least they got a little bit going, but even then, you could very easily make the argument Florida State coulda, woulda, shoulda lost this game, which I'm sure we'll talk about here shortly.
Yeah, let's go and jump over to the offensive side of the ball. I wrote down here a few things. Just off the bat, though, you were seeing some push there from Florida State's offensive line. You're building holes there for Lawrence Toafili, which if you can get Lawrence Toafili some good room, that's where he's able to show his true talent. That's his biggest strength, is getting guys out in space. He's got that nasty dead leg. He can make linebackers miss, defensive backs as well. And I thought too, he ran physical too, something that you didn't see. You didn't have to see a whole ton because you had Trey Benson the last few years, but then you see him out there, and the conversation of why did we see so much of Roydell Williams back to back to back in all these games? It's pretty plain clear now moving forward who your starting running back rotation is going to be, because Mike Norvell likes to rotate guys in that room. So there's not truly like a clear start, but it's Lawrence Toafili, number one. And then it's going to be your younger guy with Cam Davis in there as well. That's your kind of 1-2 punch right now. And, we saw on the sideline, Roydell Williams, not available. He's dealing with an injury there. He had a boot on, but Lawrence Toafili, I thought whenever he was able to have some room, and even when he didn't, I thought he played physical there, and was able. I think they had over 100 yards rushing before halftime, which that just seemed like not even possible the last few weeks that Florida State would be able to do anything like that. But overall, though, on the day, 107 yards rushing coming from a combo of Lawrence Toafili, Cam Davis, DJ, Ja'Kai Douglas, and we also saw some Samuel Singleton. Austin, I'm sure you're excited to see that.
Yeah, we didn't see too much of him. I think he only had 2 carries. 2 carries for 6 yards. But yeah, it was good to see the running game get going a little bit in the first half. The second half, it seemed like some of those holes weren't exactly there. It was good to see Cam Davis come back in the game late in the game. He left pretty early, and they said he'd been questionable with the wrist injury heading into the game. Kind of got banged up after that first series. Got to see him later in the game. He was a physical runner, and I'm kind of surprised we're seeing him out there as a true freshman. But given the hits that running back room has seen this season, with Jalen Lucas out, Roydell Williams out for this game, he for the most part answered the call. I know the stats are going to say 3.6 yards per carry, but I feel like for the most part he did what he could to get the yards that were there. And then Toafili was Toafili. He looked like he did at the end of last year, and a much better game than he'd showed to start the season. But it felt like anytime they could get something going on the ground, they'd start going away from it and try to surprise them with a DJ throw. And anytime that happened, I would get nervous.
I think you and a lot of other people as well. But looking at some things, and I'm about to go on a negative rant here because that's practically what everybody was feeling, either if you're in Doak or watching from home. That is a brutal watch for anybody watching at home. I'm just going to tell you right now, maybe being in Doak is a different story, but man, watching it is definitely when you kind of know what your result is going to be with this next drive with DJ. You might have. It's very rare. It's very spotty that you'll get a big play from him. I mean, that just doesn't seem like you can find any kind of energy there. And you're looking at your running game, and that was huge there for Florida State to put points on the board and get down there and make a drive. But after that, you're just back to being stale with him. And you have a deep ball that you have with Malik Benson that's completely overthrown from him, and you see Malik Benson shaking his head. I mean, he's obviously pissed off. I would be. We know the result has been the last 4 games. That's why you brought him in. That is his strength, is because of his strength of his arm and his deep ball, and that was just completely off there. And that puts you up a touchdown, and you have another opportunity to score again in the next quarter. It's just the inconsistencies there. And I know some guys aren't helping him. We got Kyle Morlock, who just cannot catch a damn ball to save his life, which that should be it of seeing him so much out there. Had enough. Don't need to see it. So you don't have guys helping him, but I'm tired of that excuse. I'm kind of tired of it. That's not the game-changing factor of DJ as a quarterback. Slow as Moses. When you scramble, there's just no opportunity for first downs. I think there was one where, he was trying to go for the first down, but the way that he's running there, it's so slow. It allows the linebackers to come down and crash on you, and he can't convert on the third down, and Florida State has to punt. It's just, once again, the offense just can't find any kind of drive. There's just nothing there, Austin, and it's very, very irritable to watch as someone watching on TV or probably in Doak Campbell Stadium.
Yeah, I've never been more surprised by a touchdown throw than that connection he had with Ja'Kai Douglas, because it was a beautiful throw. Again, I want to start off on a positive, and then let's go to the negatives. Fantastic throw. The rest of his 26 attempts, I was nervous as all get out. Like, the interception was horrific. I don't know what he was looking at. I don't know what he saw, but it was never there. Morlock, he started fine. He had a couple catches in that first half. I'm like, okay, he's getting rhythm. Things are happening. And then he had 2 brutal drops. in the second half. One of them on second down, then Florida State can't convert on the third down, has to punt. Again, I don't think DJU is the biggest issue on this team, but he's not helping this team win. It's what we've been saying for the last few weeks. The pass protection wasn't great. I'd have to go back and look at it to know what really happened on some of those plays, but it's a brutal showing by this offense. And I don't know if Norvell is just out of creativity, if he's just out of his mind. But like even when we saw on the second series, we saw a reverse. It worked. Then they went back to it two series later, and Cal was ready for it. It's just I don't know if Norvell is ever finding his own rhythm as a play caller, and you're seeing it in these games.
Hey, but Alex Atkins is back out there on the sideline. Easy. But yeah, this is the stat line for DJ: 16 of 27, 177 yards and 1 touchdown and 1 interception. That interception was bad too. That was bad.
It was horrific.
Eyeing down Jalen Brown, and you got 2 defenders in that space, but then one that's just right, almost hip to hip with Jalen Brown. And I'm sure to DJ, yeah, there's maybe some miscommunication, but that's just a silly throw. Definitely to where you're at. Like as a veteran, you don't throw that ball while you're there in the red zone to hurt Florida State's chances of putting points on the board, VZ.
Yeah, and just speaking of putting points on the board, I didn't understand the decision to go for it right before halftime. They had
that's
two
my
series.
big note.
They had 2 series out of 3 where they could have kicked. The first one I wasn't too mad at. I think they had the ball at like the 42-yard line, so it would have been a 59-yarder into the wind. I don't mind not kicking that one. Plus, you down the punt at the 1-yard line. That one was fine. The second one, you're inside the 40. Fitz has been great all year. The offense has sucked all year, and you have a chance to get points right before half. I didn't understand that one. It was a bad play call. I forget if DJU took a sack or just had to quickly throw it, but I knew it was never going to work ever. And they should have just taken the points. And they're lucky that Cal's kicker can only make 50-yarders.
I know. Yeah, Florida State got very lucky that Cal had their mistakes, penalties as well, and of course, like you just said, special teams. But yeah, that one before halftime, and Mike Norvell is not going for the field goal, where that would have been a 56-yarder probably for Fitzgerald. It was 4th and 7, and you decide to go with DJ. Did he get sacked on that play?
I think I know they brought pressure. I think he had a quick throw it, and he missed. I think it was Ja'Kai coming across, and he missed him by a few yards.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, take the points, man. Take the points. It's like a question, Norvell. Are you like trying to hurt yourself? Are you trying to hurt the team? Are you trying to get booed? Like, take the points, man. Your best player on the team is Ryan Fitzgerald. Take advantage of that opportunity to put some points on, because yes, your defense, they're making plays and everything, but still, you want to get down there and you want to score. Like, it's not easy to do in 2024 for Florida State. Take advantage of it. I thought that was a silly, mistake there from Mike Norvell on not going there for the points.
And especially just considering the result of what happened. You turn it over on downs, and then Cal goes 51 yards in 5 plays in 20 seconds and kicks a field goal to end the half. So you could have gone in up 10-3. Instead, you're going in up 7-6. I didn't understand that whatsoever.
No, me neither. It was no bueno. But I mean, this is kind of where Florida State's at right now. So if that's Cal, and I don't think Cal is a phenomenal team. I don't think they're a great team. We're also seeing who Memphis lost to Navy today, correct?
Did they? I know they were tied at one point, but I didn't see the final score. Hold on.
I think Georgia Tech lost to Louisville.
Yeah, Georgia Tech lost to Louisville. I know that one. And then I'll look at Boston College too while this loads.
Mm-hmm. Cal's not a great team, and I think FSU fans know that now, where FSU's at. Like, they are a bad football team. The defense decided to show up, and they should, because that's where their pure strength is, in that defensive line. Definitely with what you have with Joshua Farmer, and still trying to get things clicking there with Darrell Jackson a little bit, and he made his presence felt a good bit in this game. And you look at your edge rushers too with Pat Payne. You're hoping to get more from Armin Jones Jr., Cione also as well, but you just still can't do anything offensively, Austin. And that's still the conversation. No matter if FSU got the win here and DJ had a great throw to Ja'Kai Douglas, that's all. I mean, kind of all you got there. And there's a lot of questions. Is Brock Glenn awful at practice? Is he really that bad? I can go and tell you that's false. That's false stuff. Brock and DJ had a good camp with one another. It was 1 and 2 there. Brock got a lot of first team reps. DJ did, and then it was handed off to DJ to have those first team reps. It's not like where Brock Glenn is struggling badly, and that's where my mental is questioning why is Mike Norvell not opting to try something new, try something different. Where you've got a handful of other college teams. You look at Michigan; they had a massive game today that they won against USC, and they started a new quarterback there at home in a primetime matchup. Why not give another quarterback a chance, specifically Brock Glenn, who I think has earned that opportunity? That's where I'm triple guessing, like trying to figure out what's going on in Mike Norvell's brain, VZ.
Okay, so real quick, I'm going to go back to the scores real quick. Navy hung 56 points on Memphis today. They won 56 to 44.
No.
And then Boston College just scored a 42-yard touchdown to go up 4 in the final minute and a half. But even it's 23-19 against a bad Michigan State team. So
Memphis score tells me enough. That tells me enough.
Yeah, Navy scoring 56 on Memphis is crazy. But just going back to the quarterback conversation, I've said on a few times on the weekly podcast, I'm not the biggest Brock Glenn fan, but I also can't hold how last season went against him. It was a bad situation for him to get thrown into as a third string quarterback, and he's playing out there as a true freshman against Florida, who wasn't good, but even then, Louisville in the ACC title game.
Yeah, you're in a hostile environment.
And Georgia. Like, those are 3 tough environments for a true freshman quarterback that was probably supposed to redshirt anyways to play. So you can't really hold that against him. At the same time, Dustin has said for the most part, DJ has looked better throughout the spring and summer and fall, but Brock has had his moments, especially recently. What's it going to take? Hell if I know. If it wasn't going to be in this game where it's at home against Cal, who, yes, they're 3-0, but they're not spectacular. If it's not then, I don't know when it's going to be, because your next 3 games at SMU, which is going to be a hostile environment, it's their ACC opener as a program. Then Clemson comes to town. Then you get a bye week and play a Friday night game at Duke. So it's like there's not exactly a lot of opportunities unless they want to do it after that bye week.
Yeah, and this is where I thought it would be a great opportunity for Florida State and Mike Norvell to put out another quarterback, Brock Glenn, out there. Do this now. Then you go on the road to SMU. You see what you got there with Brock, or and you do this. Get some warm up games in before you jump into some really good teams. I don't think Florida State has faced a very, very good team, and it's going to show very.
No, they have not played a good team.
No, they have not played a great team, and they are going to play some better and some good teams here coming up soon, and they haven't done that yet. I don't know why Mike wouldn't give Brock a chance to see what maybe this offense could churn and find more momentum. And I think too, his scrambling, utilizing his legs would be an absolute game changer for this offense that Mike Norvell continues to build the offense. He continues to build the offense of Jordan Travis. Jordan Travis is not out there. You can do this offense more with Brock Glenn because he has the speed, the legs to do it. But with DJ, it is a statue. It's slower. I swear to God, Ben Roethlisberger for me when the Steelers ran faster than he actually did. I swear to God, Big Ben had to have ran faster in his career in the NFL than DJ. Why not give it a shot? And I go back to Brock Glenn. Yeah, he every game there was something that was holding him back on having a true game week preparation. He got thrown in against Florida, hostile environment. Then you go to the ACC championship. You're hoping that you have Tate Rodemaker. That doesn't get decided until it's practically game time decision or the night before. All right, Brock Glenn, you're now the starter in the ACC championship. Here's how we're going to do this. And, we're going to utilize a lot of Lawrence to Philly, yada, yada, yada. Then you're going into your bowl game. You're going to face Georgia, one of, if not the best team from last season. And then Tate Rodemaker says, I'm out of here. I'm dipping. And then, Brock Glenn, it's now on to you, buddy, as a true freshman. So I don't grade no jack shit for Brock Glenn of last year whatsoever. It's a true freshman. I want to see him get as much playing time as possible. And I'm already preparing for 2025. Why am I not utilizing my time to put my quarterback, Brock Lynn, or even Luke out there just to grow and get that? Because are you going to rely on another transfer? Like at this point, I'm like, are you relying on another 1 year? Like, what's going on? Are you relying on another transfer quarterback coming in next season? Why not give these guys a shot? Because you're going to start off the season with Alabama and Doak Campbell Stadium next year. And none of these guys are going to have a start. Their first start's going to be in a sold out Doak Campbell Stadium against a top 5 Alabama team potentially. It doesn't make sense to me, nor does it probably make sense to hundreds of thousands of other FSU fans, VZ.
Yeah, we're seeing it across the country where the young quarterbacks are getting it in. We saw it with Oklahoma tonight. We're seeing it in Florida where DJ Lagway's getting some snaps here and there. Even with, Graham Mertz is talented. It's not like he's a bad quarterback, and they're still putting DJ Lagway in. You already mentioned Michigan. We're seeing it across the country where teams are quick to pull the trigger if something's not working. And clearly something is not working here for Florida State's offense. And they got to find something to click. And even if Brock doesn't have the highest ceiling, we also don't know what his ceiling is because we haven't really seen him, like you said, in a game week preparation situation. We just haven't seen it yet. And even if he's not Jordan Travis as a mobile quarterback, he's also not DJ Uyunglele, who runs like a 6-foot tall tortoise. I think that's the only way I can describe it. They've got to find something to get this offense going. And right now, it just feels like they're beating their heads into a brick wall, just consistently. And whatever it's got to take. I don't care if they have to do Wildcat again. Cam Akers played quarterback in high school. Let's see him throw it, or not Cam Akers, Cam Davis. Either way.
But it shouldn't come to that. You recruited these guys. You recruited these guys. It shouldn't have to come to be you're so hard-headed to where you have to have like a true freshman throwing the damn football for you and playing quarterback. That you have quarterbacks on your roster that have talent, and let's see, let them grow. And it's not going to be phenomenal. I'm not over here saying that Brock Lynn's going to go in and he's going to be the game changer. And they're not expecting that to be the same way for Lagway in Gainesville, but they want to see him get out there and garner experience because the season's shot. Get ready for next year. Thank you, DJ. Thanks for all your time. Awesome. That's it. Good luck. We've got to jump to our future and shoot my coaching tenure. Norvell's not going anywhere, but a lot of questionable decisions as of late these last 4 games. By the way, SMU put up 66 points. So if FSU doesn't put up, I think 20 something. Yeah, I mean, I'm asking for a little bit here, ladies and gentlemen.
Asking for a lot here.
The SMU beat TCU just a little bit ago, 66-42.
Which, by the way, TCU's head coach got ejected for 2 unsportsmanlike calls. Like early in the game. Like I think 5 minutes into the second quarter.
SMU scores quick too. They put up over 40 some, close to 40. Yeah, they put up over 40 points in the first half.
I might be wrong, but I think that's another team that's changed quarterbacks recently.
What's new? FSU doesn't get to do that.
Yeah, they've got a new quarterback. They just dominated on the ground in this game. Their running back had a $127 and 3 touchdowns. But we'll talk about that on Wednesday.
Yeah, but that's the quarterback conversation is going to continue until Mike Norvell makes a change. Will he make a change? Right now, I predict no. He saw a good pass there to Ja'Kai Douglas, but we'll all forget about the wide open shot to Malik Benson, which you've been trying to do all season long. Yes, it's connected, I think, once or maybe twice, but that was a complete overthrow. I don't even know how that even happens, but wide open. I mean, Malik Benson is just sitting. That's all I needed to see, man. The teammates, I can tell, they're over it. When you're shaking your head in stride and you're done. You know what you're going to get with your quarterback. It's hit or miss. It's 50-50 is what it is. But, I mean, this team isn't still going to win games. This is not a great Cal team. Sadly, we had to, hype it up. Not even hype it up, but we had to actually talk about this being a true game 3 months ago. We're like, this is one of the easiest teams that Florida State's going to face this season, along with Charleston Southern.
Yeah, and it's like I said in the preview Wednesday night and in the game preview. Yes, Cal is 3-0. No, they are not a good team. The teams they played were not good teams. San Diego State sucked. Auburn sucked. UC Davis is a FCS school, and even then they didn't look like a good team. So I didn't expect them to come into Campbell Stadium and just run all over Florida State. But at the same time, Florida State hasn't been good whatsoever on either side of the ball. At least the defense finally stepped up in this game, got some stops. We finally saw the D line get pressure, and they can build on that going forward because they're going to need it for these next few games.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So we'll see. We'll see what ends up happening to see if Florida State makes some adjustments specifically there in the quarterback room. But just a note too, while everybody's here, put down in the comments and let us know who you think should be the starting quarterback moving forward. I think it's going to lean one way, but let us know in the comments what you think and too about the game overall. And just a note too as well, moving forward, we will be doing our shows and our instant reactions exclusively on YouTube now. So make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the like button as well, but make sure you hit subscribe if you're over there on Facebook. I know a lot of our Facebook viewership is over there and hang out with us 2 times a week. We are moving over to YouTube and we're going to stay there, even leaving Twitter as well. So make sure you guys tune in. We're going to be on YouTube and everything moving forward. But yeah, we're going to be here next week. Florida State is going to travel over to Dallas and face SMU for a nighttime kickoff over there. We'll have an instant reaction afterward of that. But yeah, anything else from you, VZ?
I'm just laughing that someone said Chris Winkie in the comments for who should start quarterback. He'd be better than DJU at this point. How old is Winkie now? 50?
Mm-hmm.
That's funny.
I'll finish it up at least on my end. I said DJ overthrows a wide open Malik Benson deep, which would have been a touchdown. Benson shakes his head after the play. I said DJ's talent was his strength with his arm, but if that's no longer capable of doing anything, why is he still out there? If that's his one true last strength that you're utilizing, and it's not working and it's not capable of working and getting this offense down the field, why is he still out there? And honestly, that's something I would love to ask Mike Norvell. I wish I was there, but I might have to go to an FS next home game, VZ, and get over there and ask the question.
The biggest thing for me is he's just not getting rid of the ball. He's just hanging on to that ball for way too long. And, we've already talked about the O-line pass protection issues the last few weeks, but he is just sitting there and eating hits when he very clearly sees a rush coming. He can get rid of the ball, at least throw the ball away. Just don't eat yards. And I feel like that's all we saw from him today. And obviously he had some throws here and there, but man, is he a frustrating watch.
It's rough. I had to crack open a couple. I had to crack open a couple beers. I'm not going to lie, but that's what you have to do when watching this offense. It is not fun. It feels like, I get tortured because it was fun because on Saturdays I'd watch FSU score a lot of points and you saw some fun plays being made. And then on Sundays I'd watch the Steelers play offense, and as we all know, that is not a great fun
not any better.
So I go from Saturdays and I'm just an hour away from game day with the Steelers, and it's going to be another brutal offensive watch for me. So I'm just not having a great time on the offensive side of the ball. So
at least the Vikings are creative. We may have Sam Darnold, but we are creative.
Yeah, at least y'all creative to try to save face and get through this season with him. But yeah, I think that's going to do it though for us. 30 minutes on the instant reaction. Dustin and the rest of the team is over there at the press conference getting some quotes from Mike Norvell and the players. So make sure you guys stay tuned to the Twitter and all those tweets going out there. But appreciate everybody hanging out with us. Like I said, exclusively YouTube moving forward. Make sure you come tune in here Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Looking forward to seeing you guys. And as always, appreciate y'all hanging out with us this late evening. Enjoy the rest of y'all's weekend. Enjoy NFL Sunday and safe travels back home if you went to the game. And we'll talk to you guys next Wednesday. Peace.